Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer a unboxing. Post-Christmas, you always have a little bit of extra gift cards, so I've picked up a few decks. This one I was looking at, and it's just, first of all, the box is gigantic, which is kind of cool. But it's the Unveiling the Golden Age by Izzy Ivy, and I believe this is also the same author that did my Beyond Lemuria smaller deck that you'll see in some of the readings that I do publicly. This one is an alchemic gateway of tarot vision, empowerment, and expansive play. And so she goes through and talks about how you're traversing portals, you're going down rainbows, you feel the glory of wings in this revolutionary tarot and meditation deck. So it's kind of the one thing I will say I'm not a super fan of, because I just I'd rather have artists do the work. This is very graphic designer, possibly AI, which kind of bothers me. But as far as the overall art, it did look really awesome online. So let's tear open the package and get inside this gigantic box. And like I said, when I say big, it is a fairly large container. It's like 6 inches wide, 8 inches tall type of a thing. So it's not a small deck by any stretch. And when you first open it, of course, you have your book, but this is more of a tome. I mean, that's a good sized little book here. We got almost 300 pages. Probably by the end of the art in the back, it's over 300. But I was just kind of curious when the box came and it was this big, like, what all's in this thing? So this was made in 2023, and we have, let's hop into the first part and take a peek at what she talks about. So this is, yep, she did do the Beyond Lemuria one, and this one goes from your inner world to the outer world. It focuses on coming together, working together, moving through conflict, and having fun discovering shared goals. So that's an interesting way of looking at a tarot deck. I mean, it's not wrong, because that's what tarot's for, is to help us understand ourselves. And this one is a full tarot deck. It's the full 76 cards versus her Oracle, which is 44, I believe. And you can use these to do, she talks about some of the meditation exercises you can do, and she also references a fair amount of Lemuria in this one as well, which is another one of those, I kind of was curious, because Atlantis and Lemuria are very interesting areas. So within the deck, what she had intentions behind it is an ally to your present life, a tool to facilitate guided meditations, and a means to create intentional earth grids, which is basically helping access the ley lines, if we're going to use those terms. There's a few things that she's changed in here from the traditional tarot, which if you've seen my videos with the Tarot of Dragons, there's a few in there that have changed. Some of the ones that Radley Valentine was part of, the names have changed. So for her, she talks about the Fool is now the Muse, the Hanged Man is the Suspended One, and the Death is also called Rebirth, which fits with a lot of that. And the Devil is called the Catalyst. Not sure if I'm fully on board with that title, but we'll see how this plays out. And in the courts, we have the Queen is the Priestess, the King is the Sage, the Knight is a Paladin, which those fit, and then the Page is the Initiate. Again, you're right on, I like those terms. So she also changes the suits. So this is a very unique set of cards. The Wands are light codes. Wand, fire, okay, that works. Cups are portals. Okay, water also is classified as a portal in some cultures. Swords are activations. That's knowledge-based. We'll go with that. Swords are air. And pentacles are earth guardians. Well, pentacles are earth, so that makes sense. Or coins, if you'd prefer. She talks about how the reversed cards work, and then your card layouts. This is always the part in these books that I'm really looking forward to, because I want to see if they've come up with something new. So they have their base 3-card and single card draws. And for her 3 cards, she has the message for today, the flow of life, the life purpose. That's an interesting one. Usually that's like a 10 card. Moving through triggered moments, not a bad idea, and decision making. And then we have health, your magical self, aura cleansing and insights. She goes through the basic Celtic cross, which we all have our. I swear every reader has their own variation. They'll start with the basics and then they'll change it a little bit to make them basically align with what you're looking for. So for her, the past, the future, where are we at here? So instead of doing the energy that's supporting, or the lower energy, or whatever you want to call it, your shadows, what I use it for, she has goals, aspirations, and a superpower that is available to you, and then the higher self, or the upper energy that's coming in, she has as the subconscious, hidden, or shadow. So she switched those meanings altogether. That's interesting. Anyway, so you can use them for meditation. There she goes through how to do that, which themes you're looking for, what are the meanings, which is kind of nice because a lot of places are like, oh, you can use them for meditation, then give you absolutely zero way to work with them. You could also set up earth grids. She talks about how to build formations, the meanings, which direction to face your cards, which that's kind of a fun way to look at it. Even using them for rituals to do energy clearing and dealing with traumas or past life stuff. And then we get into the definitions of the cards. The definitions do not start until page 64, just so you're aware. So you've got a journey to get to that point. But again, the art, I think, is what's going to be important. So let's hop into the actual deck. So this is under the book. You have this. And let's see if I can get it out of there. There we go. And Llewellyn, I believe, is the one who produces this deck. Let me double check that. I think it's Llewellyn. Blue Angel is the publisher, or is one of the publishers. Maybe Llewellyn just carries it. Yeah, Blue Angel is the one that publishes it. And I've noticed this with a few other companies as well. Llewellyn is one of them. They don't do it with all of their stuff. Hay House is another one that's went to this, where they don't use the shiny backs anymore. They use very matte. As example, this is very matte. And they don't gild their cards. Like, there's gold here, and that looks shiny, but it's really matte when you look at it outside of a ring light. So, but your muse, your would-be fool in the traditional tarot, is tickled by the free spirit, is the words that go with it. So it's kind of that same excited, I always use the term idiot, who's like ready to get started on the path, has no idea what they're in for, but is very confident in what they're doing. And so that's where that started off. The Wheel of Life says in it but not of it, and they have a little blue tiger there, which is kind of cool. And they use the zodiac around the edges, which is technically there's 13 of those, or 12 of those. 13 if you use some of the older stuff, which doesn't quite fit with the concept of the wheel, which is usually the number 10, but it still is kind of fun. And then we have the star evolving light codes, which that's a really good representation of the star, because you have a 7-pointed, a Merkaba, a 5-pointed, so you're getting a good blend. Let's see, 7-point Merkaba, 5-point Pentacle, so you're getting a good vibe. You also have a butterfly hanging out up top, which those are all very strong indicators of change and movement. So what was the other one she said? So the Hanged Man, that was what I was looking for, is this now the suspended one. It's the Celestial Tree of the Infinite Akash. So you're not even getting that full Hanged Man experience with this one. This is more of looking at the Tree of Life and understanding how you fit into that, which is a little different. Not sure if I'm on board with that one. We have the number 13, which was the Death card, is the Phoenix of the White Fire, which is her title is Rebirth. And I will say I like this card because the Death card is not about ending. The Death card is about ending one thing, but it's a rebirth option. So you have to cast away the old, basically die to that, and become something different, which I think the Phoenix, personally, is an amazing way to exemplify that. So let's hop over to Temperance is the same word. And the Catalyst, which is the Devil, is shadow clearing is the words with that one. And that's an interesting one because it does not show an enemy. It does not show the contrarian. It talks shadow clearing, so it's more about doing inner work and clearing out some of the negative. But the devil in traditional tarot is meant to be a challenge, something that you have to understand that there may be a conflict with, understanding these differences in opinions, and being okay to fight for it if you have to. So we have Infinite Life Force, the Sun. This one kind of makes me think of like a seraphim or a cherubim with the way the eyes are set on this one, because they're the traditional views, not the human side of things, are definitely a little intense. So, oops, that's a different card. We are looking at, for the world, the Light Collect, number 21. There's just a lot going on in that particular card. It's a little busy for my tastes, but it is definitely an interesting art piece, and the world is at the center, so that's cool. And then we hop into the light codes, and that one is very busy. We'll have to see how well these read when we get into that part. The Ace of Portals, so this would be the Ace of Water, very starry, very galactic, celestial, if you will. We have the Five of Water, which is an interesting portal there. Very makes you think of traveling through to another realm. The Rainbow Portal is the Paladin of Portal, which is the Knight in traditional tarot. So you've got some cool colors going on here. Activations. What was activations? That was the swords. So this one has a lot of skulls on it. I'm not sure how I feel about that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. But it's restful renewal. And then we have the light 8 of activations, reclaiming your power. That one I kind of do like. But again, we have a similar theme color pattern wise to the Beyond Lemuria one, which is nice, don't get me wrong. It's just not quite what I was expecting. The 6 of Guardians, that's the African plains. Very much earth energy in that picture. And then we have the Sage of Guardians, which is the king of pentacles, if you will. And it's the Woodland Forest, so that's a very androgynous looking king. And then we have the Priestess, which is the queen, and she has them reversed, so the king is first, then the queen. We have Waterfall, and this is again of the earth ones, which is interesting. They have the Pisces down there because Pisces is usually seen as the queen of water. But so this is a very eclectic deck, I guess you could say. The back of the cards have a very, at least these ones you can't, like if you pull reverse, you're not going to know it immediately. Some of them, they're so distinctive that you can. This one you cannot tell if it's upright, reversed. They're the same both ways, which makes them a little bit nicer. So let's cut our cards here and start shuffling and see what happens. Just to kind of get an idea of how these ones read, because I like to do those with you guys. Again, with the meditation aspect, I will say I want to go through that little part of the book personally for me. I have my own way of meditating with the tarot, but I'm going to go through hers and see what she has, because it is interesting to see how people respond to that type of education and that type of work. The tarot, in the grand scheme of life, and I think I've talked about this before, is the full spiritual lessons of existence. It's not just a one-time thing. It's not just, oh, well, it was great for the people who wrote it, 150, 400, however many years ago. The tarot is unique to me in the fact that it shows all lessons through all times, and it shows you the path that you're on in your life. So when you're working with the meditation aspect, it allows you to understand some big spiritual concepts, bring them in, and then be able to use those tools in your everyday life. So we are doing a simple 3-card here, and I pulled 3 of the cards. We have Tickled by the Free Spirit, the Muse, which is kind of entertaining. This card is really saying this is your encouragement to try something new, to really explore a different way of looking at it. You have these energies, these light codes coming in around you that you are probably getting bombarded with right now. If you are sensitive to energy, this last little bit has been a bit intense. A lot of people are saying it's because we're shedding the last of the year of the snake. We're getting ready to step into the year of the fire horse. And when the snake is towards its end, it sheds. This is clearing out all that stuff that we aren't ready for. So this card coming forward is saying, you're getting ready for a change. There's something new coming in, something that you have been waiting to experience, something that you've been kind of looking forward to, or it might be something that is just coming upon you now where you're like, this life doesn't fit me anymore. How am I going to change this? What am I doing different? And so you have that tickled by the free spirit, meaning there's a change coming. You have no idea where you're going as of right this second, but you know it's happening soon. So that's pretty cool. Your I swear the decks just loved playing with me. The second card we pulled is number 15, the Shadow Clearing, or the Catalyst, or the Devil in traditional tarot. And this one, we'll be gentle with this because she's not wearing certain clothing. This one is really understanding the parts of you that need to be let go, which ties into this tickle of the free spirit, shedding things off. What are you getting rid of? What are you letting go of? What is coming up from the year of the snake that needs to go before we can step into the year of the horse? This type of energy is really calling you to analyze your past, see what's going on there, release the stuff that is not working for you. It is not worth it. But understand, you're clearing your shadow. This is not going to be easy. The Devil card calls out the parts of you that you want to deny. So, no, I'm a really good person. I never gossip. But the second that you hear some little tidbit at work, you're, oh my goodness, did you hear about so-and-so? That shadow energy is not going to let you get away with that. And the other part of this is when you start to clear this stuff out, you're not banishing your shadow. Your shadow is one aspect of who you are. Your ego is one part, your shadow is one part, your higher self is one part. You're multi-layers or multi-dimensional if you choose, which that would fit into her theories with the decks, which is cool. So when you're working with your shadow, you're not killing it. You're learning how to reintegrate the parts that you shoved in there because you were told they were wrong. You were told that there was something not appropriate with that. You felt guilt or shame about it, so into the shadow it went. And when the shadow clearing is coming forward, the energy I'm getting with this is the universe is helping your shadow bring something forward for you. Here it is. You're in a position at this moment to understand the lesson behind it. If this was something from childhood, you're now an adult. You see it with clearer eyes. So now you can actually clean this up. And so this is the energy that's coming up. You now have the tools, the skills, and the abilities to deal with this. It's not going to be easy because it is coming from the energy of the contrarian, but you can now handle it. So let's look at the third card, kind of an outcome from this. We have Navigate from the Heart with the 8 of Light Codes. And is this the fire one? Yeah, I'm going to double check on that because I'm getting distinct energy with it, but I want to see what the traditional views are. Light codes. Oops, book's upside down. Helps when you have the book right side up, doesn't it? Light codes is fire. I thought so. So the 8 of Light Codes, or the 8 of Fire, navigating from the heart. This is learning to trust your intuition. You're learning to be guided by, I like how she has the green against the pink, because the two colors of the heart chakra are green and pink. And you're also looking at your history and memories, because the dragonfly is a symbol of memories and of the past. Generally, you'll see people who have dragonfly tattoos. It's because someone has passed in their life, and this is their memory of it. There's a lot of different meanings, so that's not the totality of it. We also have a horseshoe, good luck, holding up a gemstone of some form right there in the middle, and it's got a heart light infused around it. So you really are being called to trust your intuition. Get into that heart space. If you're coming up against a decision or you're dealing with some shadow stuff that you really aren't sure of, take some time to really focus in your heart on meditating on that. Bring your attention and awareness into the heart chakra. Envision yourself wrapped in green or pink, whichever radiates most closely with you. Call upon your guides and guardians and allow yourself to understand the situation from the heart. Allow yourself to understand the situation from the context of compassion. So when we look at this little sample reading here, there's something new coming in. You're about ready to start a new journey, which we're leaving the year of the snake. We're going into the year of the fire horse. Whenever you see this, this is the time frame I'm recording this in. And then you have the shadow clearing. There's something being brought forward from your shadow, which is bringing up that aspect of the devil or the contrarian. So you may have a challenge trying to figure this situation out. Universe is not going to give you something you can't handle. When the shadow brings it forward, it's saying, enough is enough. It's time to deal with this. You have the skills you need. Is it going to be easy? Probably not, but you never know. And then you're ending up with navigating from the heart, which is the 8 of light codes, 8 of fire. And with that energy, it's saying the situation that you're dealing with to start the new section is going to require a lot of compassion. And it may be compassion for yourself. If something was someone challenged you in some way in the past and you had to shove an aspect into the shadow, you have to be gentle with yourself, offer forgiveness, but then you also have to offer forgiveness for the other person and view them with compassion. Does that mean you let them back in? No. If they're someone that you took out of your life for a reason, they're there to stay out. But that doesn't mean you can't forgive them. Learn your lesson, don't repeat the lesson, don't repeat the problem, but forgive them, let them go. And you might actually come to a reconciliation with that person. There might be some shift that occurs. You never know, because when we offer forgiveness, that changes pretty drastically on the energetic side of life. So this is an interesting little test read for you. Let me know if you've ever used this deck. It is the Unveiling the Golden Age Tarot by Izzy Ivy. If you have used it, let me know your thoughts on it. If you've never have, let me know what you think of the little bit of art that I showed off here. And if you would like to see this in some of my future readings, I might start adding it to the rotation if you guys and gals are interested, because it is kind of a fun little deck there. The Hierophant looks kind of fun because it's supposed to be the priest, the teacher, the educator, but you also have the lineage, so it's an ancestor coming in, but you have a nice rose, and you have your galactic crew coming in. So there's all education aspects and growth potential is what I'm hearing. So that's a fun card to look at there. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts, feelings, and impressions are, and I will see you in the next video.